Hey, nice to meet you, man.
Big Gary. It's Alan Russell. This is Big Gary.
We met.
Okay,
I
all right.
think we met.
All right. You're looking at a very wet Paul H. Muse Field at David Carpenter Stadium. It has been raining all day. It started last night and it's continuing now. But nonetheless, we're going to have a football game here, the most anticipated game in the state. People have been talking about it actually since probably the first part of September. But nonetheless, there will be a football game, and hopefully it'll be a safe one. Like I said, a lot of rain has fell. I'm Wayne Pumphrey with the Dragon Sports Network. I welcome you to Junction City. This is game night on the DSN, sponsored by El Rey Roofing and Construction and LG Farm and Timber. I got a gentleman standing next to me that has done a lot in just a short time for the state of Arkansas as far as small town football is concerned. You've probably heard of them, 42 Sports Division. They're on Facebook, and they have a huge following. The founder, creator of it, the gentleman standing next to me, Mr. Alan Russell. Welcome to Junction City, sir.
Hey, thank you, Wayne. Nice to be here.
I know you guys come down. You brought a crew with you, and y'all checked out the field. And I know people are already wondering, well, really, what is the field like? Tell us your thoughts on how it looked.
It didn't look too bad, Wayne, out on the field. The sidelines a little poor, but sidelines ain't going to matter in this football game, Wayne. So I don't think I think it's going to come down to any ball game when you play out in the rain. Who can keep control of the football and not give the other team any extra possessions tonight, Wayne's going to go a long way who wins this football game.
I agree with you. In fact, one of the things we've already been talking about during the week, visiting with different people, from around the state and all, possessions. Every possession will be crucial, especially the way these two go at it. Last year, I know it was a game that went down to the wire to the last play, which was the extra point attempt. Junction winning at 7-6. The year before, Junction won up there 50-14. Now, one thing that doesn't go well for the Dragons, the visitor has won the last three. The last team Junction City lost to at the Muse was Fordyce in 2016. They lost that one 26-13. The 19th meeting between these two, Fordyce leads the series 13-5. Especially they dominated it when they first started playing there for a couple of years in the 80s into the 90s. Junction the last few years took control of it, as we just talked about. Let's go back and talk about 42 Sports a minute, Alan. You started this up. Tell your purpose behind doing 42 Sports.
Well, I was out on Fearless Friday, Wayne, and it just seemed like the smaller schools were getting overlooked. I don't want to say any names or anything like that, but it just looked like the smaller schools was getting overlooked to me. So my granddad had always said that if you want to change, don't wait for someone else to create it, do it yourself. So I just, on a prayer, talked to God about it, and my wife, she was on board with it. So we got on board, Wayne, and I couldn't imagine it getting where it's at today, or what God has planned for 42 Sports. But hey, we're loving every bit of it, Mr. Pumphrey.
Well, I tell you what, it is. I go over there and just read the comments on the various things, and I love the fact that y'all look at everything from football, baseball, basketball, golf, cross country. It doesn't matter if a kid is doing something special, especially in one of the small towns, it gets noticed. I even was tickled to see junior high and Pee Wee on there. And I think it's great because, people say, well, kids need to get involved. They need to get outside. You
Yes,
got
sir.
the NFL saying play 60 and the NBA, give it your all. And, MLB trying to get kids involved, Major League Baseball. Well, it starts when they're young. And I love the fact that y'all promote that and kids get excited about it, because I had somebody talking about, man, they were talking about a kid on there the other day and what he done. And I got to look, and he's in the 8th grade. Well, that's great. You want to encourage them, and I applaud y'all for that.
Appreciate it, Wayne.
Let's talk a little bit about this game here. Give us your thoughts on it. You have seen Fordyce play.
Yes, sir.
So what can Junction City fans expect to see tonight out of Fordyce?
Very fast, Wayne, on defense. They swarm to the ball very well. They play well as a unit on defense together. We were at the Rising game, and they were just all in the backfield. They were in the backfield more than Rising was, Wayne, that night. So Just very quick on the lines, very quick at linebacker. Got a real good secondary. Wayne, there's really not a lot of weaknesses on this football team. But as I said a couple weeks ago over at Desart, when Desart put it on Hazen, Wayne, you get between these white lines, who knows what's going to happen?
That's right. You know, I've heard have people getting hold of me and tell me, hey, did you see this prediction? Did you see that? And I was kind of like, yeah, well, no, or yes, whatever. You know, the predictions don't matter in the end. It's going to when they get ready to tee it off and kick it off, all the paper stuff is over with.
Right.
You know, I could sit here, rattle off stats all day long and say, here's what you know, and who knows? And especially with the weather, and as folks can tell, it is just a steady drizzle right now. With the weather, it's going to play a role. The good thing is the field has not been played on, and you guys had asked me that earlier when we met up.
Yes, sir.
I said, I believe, and Big Gary, you may have to help me out here. It's been about 2 weeks since anybody's been on the field playing, so that's good in a way because I know the junior high was in Fordyce last night, and I don't think we had a junior high game last week, and we didn't. So it's been about a good 2 weeks since anybody's been on the field, and I believe that'll help out tonight as far as, you know, footing for a while now, maybe
Yes,
about a third quarter. We're looking at something different. What's the plans for the future on 42 Sports?
Well, we just signed a deal, Wayne, with be able to have a live stream I was telling you about. That's going to be big for us. Matter of fact, we're starting as soon as next week over at Camden Harmony Grove in Prescott. We're going to be covering that game live. So that's big for us. And we've got some plans for Pee Wee football, Wayne, to try to get our hands in that market. And maybe try to put some cameras on the 5th and 6th grade kids anyway, give the 3rd and 4th grade kids something to look forward to, Wayne. And so we're going to be all over the state covering those kids as well.
Well, I tell you what, I applaud y'all for it, and I'm proud that y'all are down here tonight, thrilled that y'all made it down. Again, thank y'all for coming in.
Hey, you too, Mr. Pumphrey.
This is Alan Russell with 42 Sports. Before we step away real quick, before we step away, let me remind you, we're going to stop the streaming for a little bit, but I'm going to go ahead and tell you folks, and I'll mention again right before we go start for the game. You may see at times we're cleaning the camera lens. You may see at times we're moving around and hear stuff. It's been raining, and it is all the only thing that's dry is right under this canopy we're under, and we're trying to protect the equipment. Also, bear with us. We're going to bring you the game. We're going to do the best we can with it, but bear in mind that we will be fighting the elements tonight. One other thing real quick, Junction City, of course, comes into tonight, 19-game winning streak. The last time they lost was in October to Fordyce here. Also, Junction City has not lost a conference game since that night. So something to keep in mind. There's a lot of angles. We'll be talking about it when I come back on with the coach. We're going to have Coach Gary Meeks. He's here and get his thoughts on it. Again, Mr. Alan Russell, 42 Sports. Folks, check them out on Facebook, 42 Sports. It is worth it. Give them a like and everything.
Wayne, it's an honor to be here. I watch you every Saturday morning. I promise you that. So it's just as much honor for me as it is for you, Wayne.
Hey, thank you.
Yes,
thank
sir.
you. I'm Wayne Pumphrey. We will be back in about 10 with our pregame show here on the Dragon Sports Network.